Manchester United have just beaten Luton Town 1-0 in the Premier League with a goal from Victor Lindelof. Now, what can I say about that game? To be honest, it was a tough game to watch. Like, obviously, Luton were going to come and park the bus. Do you know what was funny in the first half? We had 75% possession, but Luton had more shots on target than us. I mean, that kind of summed it up for me. I don't know what's going on with some of these players, to be honest with you. Like, obviously, we've won the game. That's the most important thing. But these are the types of performances at home against a team that are almost definitely going to get relegated. Yes, they got a point against Liverpool last week. I appreciate that. But that was a freak result, wasn't it? They were at home. Liverpool managed. Well, they nearly beat Liverpool, didn't they? But my point here is, right, it wasn't a very good game of football, was it? Let's be honest. Like, if you actually look at the opportunities we had, Garnacho arguably should have scored in the first half. He had a really good opportunity. But other than that, we didn't really create much. And it's just the same old cycle again, where these Manchester United players don't seem to be able to break a low block. If you actually look at the people who started in the game today, right, look through the spine of that team, most of those players are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer players. Like, if you actually look at that team, it feels more like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer team than it does a Manchester United under Erik ten Hag team. And obviously that's because of injuries. I mean, obviously Onana's a new signing, Reguilon's on loan, but Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire, those are all, players who played a lot under Ole. McTominay obviously played a lot under Ole. Bruno did, and Rashford did. So if you actually look at our team today, right, you've got Garnacho, who's a youth player, Reguilon, who's a lone left back, who, let's be honest, we definitely shouldn't be keeping after his loan expires. You've got Ericsson, who was brought in as a free agent, and then you've got Højlund, who's a 20-year-old striker. So it doesn't really surprise me too much, and I'm not going to blame this on Ten Hag. You know what the old saying is: you can't teach a dog old trick. You can't teach a dog new tricks. And I think that's the case with most of these players. We probably had 75% plus possession, but it was just the classic Maguire passing it sideways to Lindelof, passing it back to Maguire, passing it back to Lindelof. Just the same thing over and over and over again. And we just don't seem to have anybody to find that killer pass. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy the match, to be honest. I'll be honest with you. Like, I thought it was pretty boring. The football wasn't great, but I'm not blaming this on Erik ten Hag. I'm blaming this on the fact that we've still got a lot of the same players as we had under Ole. And imagine how difficult it must be to retrain these players to be able to actually play a style of football that isn't just, boring side to side. And we know that this team always find it difficult to play against a low block. So at the end of the day, I'm happy that we beat them. I'm happy that we got the 3 points. Obviously, I'm 100% Erik ten Hag in. I 100% think he's the right man for the job. And I think that a game like today just shows you, to all the Erik ten Hag haters, how much work we need to do behind the scenes in building a squad to suit Erik ten Hag's style of football. Because the fact that we're starting a Premier League game, right, with Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Dalot, McTominay, like all of these players in the squad still. And I would even say that Scott McTominay is one of our best players at the moment. I mean, that's how bad it's got. He genuinely is, isn't he? He's getting goals. He's getting picked every single match. I mean, Maguire's getting picked every single match. You've got to give him credit where it's due, but if we want to go on this whole narrative that people seem to be obsessed with, that we're Manchester United and all of this stuff, like, this doesn't feel like a Manchester United team to me anymore. Like, I just watch it sometimes and just feel a little bit embarrassed that we have such a sense of entitlement as a Manchester United fan base because of, the unbelievable team we had under Sir Alex Ferguson, that we look at these set of players and I just don't feel that attachment to pretty much any of them. I think Garnacho was good, to be fair. I'll give him some credit. I think Garnacho did very well today. I think Rashford had another relatively quiet day. I think he did a little bit better than usual. At least he was trying to cross the ball and give the ball to other people. Usually he'd just get it and shoot. But yeah, I think Garnacho had a really good game today. Obviously, Onana had very little to do. He made a couple of good saves. Another clean sheet for Onana, though. That's 2 in a row in the Premier League. So that's something to build on. McTominay, Ericsson, Bruno, I don't know. Like, they were okay. They didn't really create any opportunities for anybody, did they? And against the Luton Town, a Man City would be beating Luton Town comfortably, wouldn't they? A Liverpool at home, let's say, would be beating Luton Town comfortably, you would hope. Well, not you would hope, you would expect. So, I don't know. Let's have a look, actually. So, Luton, when they played Aston Villa, they lost 3-1. I mean, in all fairness, right, I'm just looking through Luton's results this season. Like, most of their games have been 2-1, 1-0, 2-1. Like, they haven't really got thrashed yet this season. They got beaten 4-1 by Brighton. But other than that, all of that, and they got beaten 3-0 by Chelsea, to be fair, as well. I think today was the opportunity for us to really improve that goal difference. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Maybe you think the caption is a little bit harsh, but I do think it was I do think it was awful football today. I think it was pretty boring. Can you genuinely say that was good football? I'm 100% I'm 100% Eric Ten Hag in, without a shadow of a doubt. He's 100% the right man for me. And I don't think he's the one that's to blame. I think we need to literally just remember that we're in the middle of a reset. We're in the middle of a rebuild. And a lot of these players, right, aren't good enough to be part of an Eric Ten Hag side for me. And they're not good enough to be part of a Manchester United side. And that was clear to see today. They tried hard. They're definitely playing for the manager. There's no doubt about that. But I just don't think they're good enough. Obviously, there'll be a lot of conversation about whether Varane should have started over Lindelof. I was reading up about this, actually. And apparently the reason why Lindelof starts is because he doesn't want to have two right-footed centre-backs playing, which I get. Obviously Varane and Maguire are both right-footed. And he doesn't like having wrong-footed players in like a left-back position. Do you see what I'm saying? So, he likes to have a left-footed centre-back and a right-footed centre-back. And obviously, Varane and Maguire are both right-footed. And apparently that's why Maguire and Lindelof started today, because otherwise it's either Maguire or Varane. And to be honest with you, I think Maguire deserves to play over Varane. I do. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I'll read out some of your guys' comments. APU says 3 points. That's what it's all about. Yeah. I guess so, yeah. Lumen says, rumours are that Big Sam asked for 3 chewing gums from Sir Alex Ferguson and yawned at least 2 times, yeah. Danny says, Kieran, we created a lot of chances. It was our forwards' impotency and their keeper's excellent performance that have made it 1-0. We were better than previous weeks. I still don't think it was very good, to be honest with you, mate. I don't. I really, really don't. I gave them a lot of credit after that Copenhagen game. We did the match reaction. I had people effing and ahhing saying, get him out of my club. I hate Eric Ten Hag. And I genuinely said, I thought he was quite good. I thought we played quite well against Copenhagen, even though we lost. I thought it was our best 30 minutes performance of the season. I thought we could have gone and won 4 or 5-0. It was some beautiful, fast attacking football. Today it was so pragmatic, so slow, and I get it. Those are the types of games where you're playing against a low block and you do have to kind of expect to be patient. But it is just one of those ones, isn't it, where we've just got to hope in the next kind of 2 to 3 weeks we get this new director of football, we get this new CEO, and we start building for the future. And I genuinely, looking at the team who started today, right, I know we've just won the game, but I'm allowed to obviously have an opinion. Like, when I look through that squad, the only people who I think should probably be starting for Manchester United is Onana. I think Onana's redeemed himself recently. I think Onana's decent. Garnacho, maybe he should be a super sub. Bruno Fernandes, I think, obviously is going to start. Rashford, I think, again, is a maybe. And Højlund, I think, yes. But other than that, I would have no issues with most of those other players leaving either in the summer or, in the summer probably, wouldn't it? Obviously, Reguilon will go back to Tottenham. Eriksen will only have a year left of his contract. Maybe he'll stay for one more season. McTominay, I imagine clubs will come in for him. Maybe Manchester United sell him at a premium. Dalot, I think, is a great backup to Wan-Bissaka. Harry Maguire, I probably would keep Maguire as a backup if it came to it, but I don't really want to see him start in every single game, because I think he's all right against teams like this, against Luton, but as soon as you play against, a team that have fast strikers and they're pressing you, I think he really, really struggles. But, when you're playing against the Luton team who are literally just parking the bus, and it's literally just a case of Maguire passing it to Lindelof, passing it to Maguire, passing it to Lindelof. That's one thing I'll say about Martinez. He was one of the people who used to find a lot of balls into the attacking areas. Maguire's very good at switching the play, but he doesn't really ever seem to play the ball over the top or to actually create any goal-scoring opportunities. It's more like he'll just play it out to somebody available on the wing, Let's have a look what people said. Richie says, I bet that Ineos will sack Eric Ten Hag. I don't know, mate. We'll have to wait and see. We've got some very, very difficult fixtures coming up. I spoke about this on the show this morning, and I think, after this international break will be a big indicator of what's going to happen with Eric Ten Hag. Obviously, we've got Everton away, then we've got Galatasaray away, and then we've got Newcastle away. So within the space of a week, right, if we lost to Everton, lost to Galatasaray, we'd be out of the Champions League, and then lost to Newcastle, I think he'd be under immense pressure then. I really, really do. I don't think he should be, because I think he's the right man for the job. As I said, I think literally 90% of the players in this team aren't good enough to play for Manchester United, to be honest with you. And I'm sick of blaming managers. I'm going to blame players. Yes, we've just won a football match, and I'm happy that we've won, but I wasn't really entertained, to be honest with you. If you were entertained, that's completely fine. I was entertained for the first 30 minutes against Copenhagen. I was entertained for the whole game against Crystal Palace. But in this game tonight, I honestly kept thinking that Luton were going to get an equaliser. And you know what? In some ways, I obviously would have been, very disappointed and very upset about it. But Like, Luton had some good chances. They had more opportunities in the first half, clear-cut opportunities than we did, and they only had 25% possession. So let's not come away from this saying it was a comfortable win, because I don't think that was a comfortable win, to be completely honest with you. I think it was a difficult game to watch. I think Luton had their game plan and they played it amazingly. It was one corner, a second phase of a corner. Lindelof gets the ball and pretty much just smashes it in the goal. And nothing else really happened other than that, Let's see what else people were saying. Obviously, there is some bad news as well. Obviously, Rasmus Højlund came off with a hamstring injury. Does that mean he's going to be out now for a few weeks? I would imagine so. Obviously, we have the international break now for 2 weeks. So hopefully we can get things rectified over the next couple of weeks with Rasmus Højlund, and hopefully he'll be back in time for the Everton game. Obviously, Eriksen came off as well. It looked like he'd done something to his knee. I imagine he'll probably be out for a bit. So that's another 2 people in the injury list, which is frustrating. And people saying to me earlier on today, right? Oh, look at Ange. Look what he's done at Tottenham. Ange Postecoglou, right, lost 2 players. He lost Romero and Maddison and Van de Ven, 3 of his first team players. And look, they've just lost. They lost against Chelsea, and now they've just lost against Wolves. Okay, Man United have had over 20 injuries this season. When you look at that back 4 that started today, right, not a single one of those back 4, I would say, are our best back 4. I wouldn't. I think Luke Shaw is our best left back. I would say that Varane and Martinez are our best centre backs. But please remember, the reason Varane isn't starting is because he doesn't like to play 2 right-footed centre-backs. So usually it was Martinez, who's a left-footed centre-back at the left-sided centre-back, and Varane, who's a right-footed centre-back at right centre-back. So I genuinely don't think that back 4 is our best back 4. It isn't, is it? It should be Luke Shaw, Martinez, Varane, and Wan-Bissaka. Defensively, it would be Casemiro and probably Eriksen or McTominay. Do you see where I'm going with this? We're still missing a lot of players, so we need to give Erik ten Hag some credit here. I'm not going to give the players any credit, to be honest with you, because from what I've seen today, yes, they won the football match, but from what I've seen over the last kind of 10 or so matches, I'm just not in a position where I've seen like a 7-0 victory where I've been so impressed with what they've done. I think they tried hard, but I just think that, a lot of them lack ability and quality, and that's just my opinion. If you disagree, then obviously that's completely up to you. Fred says, someone tell me why Rashford is playing. I don't know, mate, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know. Is it because of his new contract? Is it because, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But let's just try and take a little bit of positive from this. We are 6th in the Premier League now, which is reasonable. If results go our way this weekend, who did Liverpool have tomorrow? Let me just have a quick look. Obviously, Newcastle United play at 5:30, don't they, tonight? So if results go our way today, over the next couple of days, hopefully Liverpool play Brentford at home. I mean, that's still a difficult match for them. Hopefully we can go into the international break, 4 or 5 points off top 4, and then we can try. But as I said earlier on in the show, guys, we've got some very, very difficult fixtures after the international break. Obviously, Everton away, Galatasaray away, and Newcastle away, all within the space of a week. That is difficult. Goodison Park's never easy to go to. Galatasaray, we've never beaten Galatasaray away from home, and we lost to them at home a couple of weeks ago. And Newcastle away from home, that's going to be almost impossible, I think. They're such a good... Newcastle are so good at home at the moment. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Please do let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the game today. Were you happy with the performance? Do you think did it entertain you? Let me know what your thoughts are. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Manchester United have won. We can all rest. We can all have a nice sleep tonight. No nightmares. I'll catch you guys in the morning. I'll be live, obviously, as usual. So please do make sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and I'll speak to you all a bit later.